Now, if you caught up on the previous installments of the Caddy RS build, you'll know that we made a fair bit of progress in the last episode. We got the intercooler installed with custom brackets, we relocated the battery, and we basically swapped over the whole fuel system from the TTRS. And that's before we get into the wiring, of which a bulk of that has already been done. There's one thing getting hardware in, but getting it to all communicate is a whole different matter. The full conversion is being done down at DG Developments, and as you can see, we're making pretty quick progress. And where we last left things off was with the first startup of the van. It did fire up, but only momentarily, and that was actually with the aid of some brake cleaner. The reason we did that is because we had a fuel supply issue, and it was the end of the day, and we just wanted to hear the thing in action. Now, I did mention in part 2 how we ended up fixing this problem quite easily, but I'll let Dowd explain just how straightforward it was.
So yesterday we wired up the pump and we added the control signal wire. Obviously that's temporary until we get it through the cabin and everything. We didn't have any fuel yesterday and we were scratching our heads a little bit, and I think everybody was tired. This morning me and Gassim sent the van straight up in the air and realised we didn't plug it in.
It was a long shift. It was a long shift.
At least we know we've done our bit right. Yep, we're in. A little bit of modification.
Yeah.
And that fuel pump module is going to sit perfect.
That whole arrangement straight off the TT, including that bracket as well.
Yeah. All the wiring is nowhere near finished. Nowhere near finished. It's just, we've got to get it running, check what faults we got, and then when we're happy with everything, we'll check it all over, start neaten everything up, and then protect it all. We put power on it.
Yep.
And we need to find out which ones are feed now. Right, so we're going to turn it over. We've got canister there. Let's see what happens.
Oh, the wiper motor's coming on. There we go. So that's where the fuel's coming from, so we do have it. That's that problem sorted then, isn't it, Dowd?
That's that sorted, yeah. So I'll let you boys get your wiper motor back in place, because that's not very secure.
Yeah, it's not going to be doing any wipering from there.
Because we did have diesel in here before.
Yep.
Let's do a couple more switch-ons with the pump.
Try and cycle as much out of the system.
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3. Look at that, it's clean petrol now, actually.
Yeah.
We're good there, we're good there. We've done 3 now.
Is it? Oh, it needs juice on it. It needs
juice.
Maybe it's rebelling against not being in its original chassis. Now that the fueling issues are sorted, and we also established that my wireless mics can't exactly handle an open downpipe on a TTRS engine, we proceeded with a few things in the engine bay, such as refitting the headlights, which are the standard halogens. I will get some fancy xenons later on down the line. Refitting the wiper motor, charcoal canister, and also the main intake pipe. We then sent the van up in the air to refit the heat shields, which we took off to swap over the gearshift assemblies. And then once that was done, it was time to move on to one of our very first aftermarket mods for the Caddy, and that's fitting a set of Scorpion secondary decap pipes. You see these being fitted all the time on the iron block stuff because it gives you a nice bump in sound. They're relatively inexpensive and they're very easy to install as well. I will be getting a custom exhaust made for the van down the line, but that will be from this point backwards, as we've pretty much got the best flow we can at this point. Okay, secondary decap pipes fitted. We've also got the airbox fitted now as well. Right, I'm going to put you back into the video very shortly. I just got a couple of things I wanted to mention. Number one, if you are new to the channel and you enjoy content like this, make sure you do go ahead and subscribe. Got a bunch of stuff lined up this year, both for the Caddy as well as other builds, like for example this Mark 8R. So it'd be great to have you on board as we head towards that 200k subs goal. And the second thing is I just want to give a massive thanks to today's video sponsor, Car Vertical. Now, if you're not familiar with Car Vertical, they're long-time supporters of the channel, and essentially what it is, it's a website that allows you to obtain a full report on any car. All you gotta do is enter registration of the vehicle in question, and it'll give you a number of different parameters. Now, to give you an idea of how it all works, I've gone ahead and loaded up a badge report on a random VW Caddy. I'll throw up on the screen now. At the top here, it shows you your vehicle at a glance. So for example, with this Caddy, there's no issues with any mileage fraud. It hasn't been stolen in the past. There's no outstanding finance. but there is unfortunately some accident damage. Now, if you look here, it says it was damaged in April 2015, and there was a category D write-off, which is non-structural, and it's been recategorized to Cat N now. But the cool thing is it actually shows you photos of it at salvage auction, so you can see exactly what was damaged. When you're going to view this particular vehicle, you know what to look for. But yeah, black short wheelbase, Mark III. Yeah, it's all pretty much panels, isn't it? Not too bad, probably the same as mine. So yeah, that's Car Vertical. Pretty straightforward, a very handy tool to keep with you when you're going to view a new car, or if you want to just check something you've already got. Now, they have given me my own special link, which is down below in the description. If you click on that and then use the code TRH, that'll save you 20% off your next report. But yeah, without further ado, let's continue with the RS build. Okay, so continuing on with the Caddy stuff, got Lewis just over there. We've just gone ahead and put a new dog ball mount on. We did have one on the old subframe, but it was stock pretty much, wasn't it? At the minute now, we've just taken off the fill hole for the gearbox. This was already drained in the prior videos. Now I've got some fresh gearbox oil here as well, genuine stuff. Pretty cool that there's two 5-cylinder swapped Volkswagens up in the air at the minute. We've got the Caddy and we've got Dawood's Mark 6R. Just on a bit of routine maintenance. This Caddy just looks so beefy up in the air because of the added sort of track width from the TTRS front end. It just looks very squat. Normally you'd expect the wheel to be hanging down and all loose essentially, but looks like it's ready to go to a BTCC race. Now Lewis did go ahead and get the subframe off the Caddy onto the TTRS so we can push it around. It's just outside. I'll give you guys a look. Yeah, check this ride height out. That is completely normal. That's just a Caddy front end. Bolted up somewhat, so that's why it looks when you swap rolls essentially. It's on the Caddy wheels as well, so it looks pretty hilarious right now. As we mentioned in the previous videos, we're going to be running an inline filter, which is what this is.
So this is the feed line here. This is an original fitting from the TT, which we've moved across just to get it to fire. But obviously we needed a filter on it. We're just going to replace this silver pipe essentially.
That basically does the job of what usually you have a fuel filter there on the side of the chassis, etc.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, this is just a performance one.
Of course, anybody wondering, it's not joins everywhere, it's just our labels and just tidying it up.
Yeah, of course.
Just trying to keep them together.
I'm sure a bunch of the viewers can appreciate in part 2 how much was involved with this, so it's not just a case of you're matching a few different wires. I've been watching these guys doing this work and it's insane. Like.
So the fuel filter's in line now. We've not mounted it anywhere yet, but we just tucked it away so we can run it. We're going to do the exhaust little Y piece to connect it to the Caddy piece as a temporary measure until...
Yeah, of course, still a custom system, yeah.
Custom system.
We're going to be using this Y section off this RSQ3 back box right now.
Correct, yes.
So we're going to make that work then.
Yeah, so I think we've actually, Dawood said we might have some sleeve clamped reducers for the original pipe that's on there for the secondary decats. And then this piece is going to have to be significantly reduced.
We're going to have to make that into that.
Chop the Caddy pipe down here somewhere, downsize this. Easy, simple, just like that.
See, as we've already mentioned, this is just a temporary fix to get the van off the ramp and moving around the estate, let's say, so we can do some testing. Now, whilst the guys cracked on with the temporary exhaust fix, I thought I'd move on to the rear caliper section of the Caddy. Now, as you saw, we've already fitted the front brakes from the TTRS, and the idea is to fit the rear ones as well. We did partially get them fitted in the day prior, but the stock Caddy brake lines aren't long enough, and either way, we were going to be putting braided ones on there regardless. So I headed over to Vagbrem Technic in Manchester. They're based out of Awesome GTI, and I managed to get a set of custom length braided HEL lines made. They basically cut them to whatever length you want. I just took the stock line down and they compared them. The service from Dean was top notch, and we had a good chat about brakes in general for various different cars. I'll definitely be back for some new bits once the van is fully dialed in and we know this TTRS setup works. Right, so brake line all fitted back up. We're back over here with the custom work.
Now, we said it wasn't going to be pretty, and we pulled through.
We pulled through.
But it will work.
It's a pretty substantial hammer you got over there, Lewis.
Yeah. Big boy. The Persuader.
Good on that.
The Persuader.
Yeah.
Looks like it's for a tank, even coloured the same as well.
Yeah. I paint all my vans in that colour, so I had to get on that.
I mean, this is probably content that's never been done before. How does an RS 5-cylinder engine sound through a Caddy 2-litre TDI back box? Bringing you all the exclusive clips today, eh? The answer to that question will be explode shortly. After the exhaust was done, it was pretty much just a few random odd tasks left for the day. One of those was installing a longer boost pipe for the intercooler on the driver's side. The stock one was just ever so slightly short, so we managed to find the silicone one from a local retailer. At the same time, Lewis got the battery cable tied neatly along the chassis, and yeah, it's pretty much just time to get the van load so we can put some coolant in it and then start refitting the front bumper. But naturally, of course, because we now have an intercooler, that didn't quite go to plan, and the bumper didn't really want to go on at all. At first, we thought it was just elements of the lower grille that were catching on the intercooler, so we started trimming, offered it up again, still didn't fit. Then we removed the lower grille entirely and it just about went on, but then parts of the front bumper were catching, so we trimmed part of the bumper, and then eventually we got it mounted. You'll see in a bit that we did end up refitting parts of the grille on the side to make it a bit more stealth, but it's safe to say it's definitely no longer a sleeper.
Okay, so where we're up to now is we've got all our coolant in, we've got fluids in, still got a few adjustments to make, tidy up a little bit in places. The intercooler does press really forward, so I've got a bit more trimming to do and maybe custom grill at some point. The loom down here is all wrapped up and we're happy with that. The rest of it we've not finished yet, in the sense that we need to make sure no faults, run it, see how everything is. We bled the clutch up.
Yep.
Fuel filters in, everything that we've gone over before, so I think we're ready to let it run.
Let it run.
We've got no water leaks.
Oh, nice.
Fit there just to make it look a bit prettier.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, because I was missing on this. That all bottomed up.
Yeah, I heard it.
That is actually very pleasant. Very pleasant. That back box has never had these fumes out of it before. It's been diesel fumes before. Yeah, give it a light rev. That is so cool. Yeah, the top up. It's like an OEM plus sound. It's like it has a cat and an OPF in there. It's interesting because the volume that it's at right now is kind of where I'd want it to be, in like a comfort mode, because we are going to be retrofitting the TTRS Sport button, which we've got right here. So that opens the valves on the TTRS, of course. It'd be cool to have this plus a valves open mode. Let's have a first sit in here. Since everything's gone down, we'll move these trim tools so don't get them anywhere we don't want them to be. Right, we're gonna get that trim on, don't worry. Yeah, it's a bit raspy, but it's, you know, because it's got the diesel clocks on it, it revs so quickly. Now look, you touch the gas and it's nearly halfway through the RPM.
So we've got to code the traction and ABS. We've got to recode your new steering rack into the RS rack.
Oh yeah, because we got less turns lock to lock now, haven't we?
We're going to line that up to steering angle sensor and that should be sorted then.
It's so amazing, like everything, look, you even got the full system working.
I think we need to send it off the clock.
Yeah, it'll probably take like literally a second on this one. Well, I suppose we have got 160, so yeah.
Fuel gauge is nice, working, sweet.
Oh yeah, there's reading it nice. Look at that, the key thing is 490 218. Right, so the Caddy's first movements off the ramp. Oh, look at that. Keep going. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Right, Dowd, whenever you're ready. Yeah, go on, give it one more. Oh, I shot a flame.
Flames coming out of that little stock exhaust is just funny.
It used to have black smoke coming out the back, but now we got flames of 5-pot noise. Hilarious. Awesome van. Cool. Well, on these clips here. So yeah, that concludes part 3 and also gives you an idea of what a 2.5 litre 5-cylinder engine sounds through a Caddy 2 litre TDI back box. It's quite a bit of a mouthful there. Definitely take a bit of a breath after that one. The series is nowhere near done. We still got the whole tuning side of things, and we're just waiting on Dawood's new dyno to arrive, so we'll get some runs in as well. And yes, of course, a proper custom exhaust. But yeah, make sure you are stay tuned for all of that. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Follow my Instagram to get updates in the meantime. Also check out DDG Developments. They make the work look so easy, but believe me, the amount of graft that's gone into this van so far in such a short amount of time is pretty insane. But yeah, folks, I'll leave it to it. Look out for part 4 maybe in about 3-4 days. And yeah, I'll see you then.